We're working closely with Birmingham City Council to help them identify and then start to close the retrofit skills shortage that there is in Birmingham. And I'm going to be talking to you today about opportunities in the retrofit sector in Birmingham for businesses and residents. So I'll just share my screen with you and off we go. Okay, so first of all, just a little bit about the Retrofit Academy. We're the driving force in knowledge and skills in retrofit. We're the UK's leading retrofit training provider. We've been around since 2016, and in that time we have enrolled over 5,000 learners to become competent retrofitters. We have formed government partnerships, and not only with Birmingham City Council, but with net zero hubs across the country and other local authorities. We have developed 6 qualifications, so many of those you will have heard of. So the retrofit coordinator qualification, for example. We have formed workforce development partnerships with a number of tier 1 organisations delivering retrofit. So, for example, Equans, who are closely involved in Birmingham. And we have won awards and run our own awards as well. We've won awards for social value, for projects and partnerships, and for skills and training. And we deliver annual awards at Future Build at a conference that we host ourselves. So, right, let's start talking about retrofit opportunities in Birmingham. So first of all, the scale of retrofit in the UK. There's quite a few facts and figures in this presentation. Numbers are the secret to a lot of this. So first of all, there's 27 million homes in the United Kingdom. The majority of these will need retrofitting at some point between now and 2050 to bring them up to appropriate standards so that we can meet our legally binding net zero targets as a country. We estimate at the Retrofit Academy that we need around about 400,000 people working in the retrofit sector if we're going to stand a chance of doing that. And that breaks down as something like this. So this pyramid you can see here. Very familiar roles in here: retrofit advisor, assessor, coordinator, evaluator, and designers, along with the trades roles that will be needed to install energy efficiency measures to properties. And some quite big numbers that you can see here, totaling about 430,000 roughly. And that's nationally between now and 2030, but big figures nonetheless. Now, let's have a look at funding for retrofit and have a look at the scale of this developing industry. So the UK government is investing heavily in retrofit, and publicly funded retrofit is where the most movement is happening in this sector at the moment. So if we look at if we disregard previous funding pots, currently the government has allocated £1.4 billion worth of funding to local authorities and social housing providers in the latest round of funding. And you can see how that breaks down in those bullet points at the top of the screen, and then how that breaks down for funding in the West Midlands area in the table that you can see in the centre of the screen. So 334.6 million has been allocated to projects in the West Midlands to deliver retrofit to homes in the West Midlands. So you can see that's a huge opportunity for businesses to either increase revenues by entering what is a new sector for them. They might be in construction, but not in retrofit per se, or an opportunity to increase revenues by expanding into expanding their current retrofit activity and increasing revenues that way. So some great opportunities for businesses based in Birmingham. So let's look first at retrofit in terms of social housing in Birmingham. There's a lot of funding for this, and in Birmingham there's over 99,000 socially rented homes. About 60,000 of those are owned by Birmingham City Council, with the others being owned by housing associations or charities. What we know about social housing is that damp and mould can be a major issue. So the drivers for retrofit aren't just climate change and fuel poverty, although they're really important. It's also about eliminating mould and damp and making homes better and healthier places to live. So if we look at the UK average number of homes with an energy performance of less than band D, and EPC band C, to remind you, is the target for where we need to be, we can see that around about 66% of homes in the UK are below band D in terms of energy efficiency, which translates to, in Birmingham, 65,977 socially rented homes that will definitely need some form of retrofit. And they will need some form of retrofit by 2035. Those are the targets for socially rented homes. In fact, it's 2030 if the residents are in fuel poverty. Now, Birmingham City Council has been really successful in securing funding, secured nearly £25 million worth of funding, which is a huge amount of money. And over the next couple of years, that will go towards retrofitting 2,231 properties. So there are clearly opportunities beyond this phase of funding, but it's a really solid place to start from. So social housing and publicly funded retrofit is one source of the retrofit opportunity, but there are others. While publicly funded retrofit provides the immediate opportunity, it's the kind of first mover, if you like, over time, more retrofit markets will start to scale up. There is already activity in these sectors, but this will start to ramp up in the future. So in Birmingham, there are 226,657 owner-occupied, privately owned properties, and 2/3 of that is about 150,000. Now, that's the estimated number of those privately owned properties that will need retrofitting over the next 20 odd years. The privately rented sector is also required to make improvements to the energy efficiency of the homes. There's nearly 100,000 of those properties in Birmingham. So around about 2/3 of that, which is the average number of properties that is below EPC Band D, comes to about 64,000. So there's another 215,000 properties that will need retrofitting at some point before 2050. So the size of the market in Birmingham. So it's been estimated that the average cost of a full domestic retrofit is over £25,000. It can cost £18,000 to retrofit, to apply external wall insulation, for example. So, you know, it can be expensive, and the average cost is around about £25,000. So just taking that cost and applying it to the number of homes that likely to need retrofitting, we can see that the total size, the maximum size of the retrofit market in Birmingham is 7.86 billion. That's between now and 2050. Now that is a huge figure. It's a really big market. It's active now and it will ramp up in the future. It's not going to happen overnight, and the likelihood is that a lot of the properties that require full retrofit might not be retrofitted completely by 2050. They might be on the journey towards full retrofit, but probably all of those homes won't be done by that timescale. But even if only 1/3 of the properties that we have looked at are retrofitted, this is still a £2.62 billion market in Birmingham alone. So it's clear to see that there is a really huge opportunity here. Now, taking the Retrofit Academy's bespoke workforce modelling tool that we've developed over the summer, we've looked at the Birmingham City Council's SHDF programme, that programme through which they want to deliver over 2,000 retrofits to their properties. And we've modelled the estimated workforce that would be needed to deliver that. And these two tables show that detail. Now, of course, a lot of assumptions go into modelling. So, you know, things can change, but based on the assumptions that we have made, which are assumptions approved by many tier 1 contractors in the sector, I have to say, this is what it's looking like. So you can see in the table on the left, to do 2,231 properties over the next approximately 2 years, you're looking at needing about 8 retrofit advisors, 12 assessors, 8 coordinators, 5 designers at a minimum, 5 retrofit evaluators, and then around about 200 skilled tradespeople applying energy efficiency measures to homes. So that totals about 238 FTEs. And of course, that's just for 2,231 homes. We can break that trades line down into a bit more detail, and you can see the table on the right has got that detail for you. The one that jumps out really is the external wall insulation installers line. So around about 100 of those people will be needed to install EWI to properties in this project. And then windows and doors as well. So about 50 people will be needed to install windows and doors in this project. So that's around about 200, the need for around about 200 skilled tradespeople working on this project. So what opportunities are there for businesses in Birmingham? So there's opportunities across a range of skills trades, as we just saw, installing energy efficiency measures to homes. And the following energy efficiency measures are included in the Birmingham City Council SHDF project. So it involves installing windows, doors, double glazing. The project also involves external wall insulation or cavity wall insulation. It also involves installing proper ventilation. There's no point in making a home super warm and cozy if we can't let it breathe, because then we just get mold and damp. Loft insulation, widespread included in this project. And then finally, solar panels are included in this project as well. So there will be a need for skilled tradespeople in all of these roles, as well, of course, as the PAS 2035 roles, things like advisors, assessors, coordinators. So many opportunities just in this one project. Now, we did some research around the degree of skill shortage, the level of skill shortages for various different roles. And I've plotted that against the demand for measures in the Birmingham City Council SHDF project. And that's what this matrix shows. So the higher up the vertical axis, there's more of a skill shortage. And the further right across the horizontal axis means that more of those measures are included in the Birmingham City Council project. So it's these ones on the far right, top right, that we need to look at. So pretty much all of the PAS 2035 roles are in shortage. Assessor, designer, coordinator, and advisor. There's a shortage of all of these. That's what industry is telling us. There's a shortage of external wall insulation installers, a shortage of cavity wall installers, solar PV installers, ventilation, and loft insulation. Should also say windows and doors on here, but that's missing. That would also be in this box on the top right. So this is, very real, what the industry is telling us through the research we've done. These are the shortage areas, and the ones circled are the ones in most demand, will be in most demand in the Birmingham City Council project. So how can you get involved? How can you maximise the opportunities presented here? Well, first of all, if you're an installer, first thing you need to do is get PAS 2030 certified for the most in-demand measures. PAS 2030 certification is essential. It's required if you're going to work on publicly funded retrofit. So you need to get certified for that. That can be a long process, but there are organisations that help you, like the British Assessment Bureau. Get onto the dynamic procurement system that is run by Midlands Net Zero Hub. So you need to get in touch with Midlands Net Zero Hub, go on their website, find out how you can get onto that DPS system. Make yourself known to Equans. It's really important, this one. They are the delivery partner for the Birmingham City Council project. Rebecca Reynolds is the lady to get in touch with. Her email address is there, and we've checked it's okay to email her. You might want to get on their list of subcontractors. That will be a great place to start. And talk to the Retrofit Academy about your workforce planning, your workforce development needs. We have a range of courses that we can deploy to help upskill your staff if that is needed. So talk to us about that. Many of those programs are funded as well, it's safe to say. Now, if you're a resident, there are many things you can do to get involved as well. Lots of opportunities here. So identify the best career route in retrofit to suit your skills and preferences. There's lots of information out there on the Retrofit Academy website. That's a great place to start. It talks to you about the different types of roles involved in retrofitting, and you can work out what your best career route would be. Speak to us about part-funded training to upskill. We've got a great team of customer support assistants, and they will always speak to you about what funding we've got so that you can get subsidised or maybe even fully funded training. And engage with potential employers in the Retrofit Careers Hub. We have a Retrofit Careers Hub. You'll find it on our website, and there's lots of information there from some of the key employers in the retrofit sector. You can have a look around there and engage with those and look at jobs that are available that are posted on that Careers Hub. And then finally, social housing residents. Speak to your housing association about their retrofit projects. There may be ways you can get involved. You might, for example, be able to start a career as a retrofit advisor. Contact Generation, a charity that runs skills boot camps for NEET individuals. So if you're not in employment, education or training, you can potentially go on a retrofit advisor boot camp, fully funded, that will take you into a career in retrofit advice. So again, lots and lots of opportunities here for Birmingham businesses and residents. This this one project provides a huge amount of opportunities, and then all the other projects and retrofit that will happen after that will keep this going. So lots of opportunities out there. And if you want to talk to anyone a little bit more, just get in touch with the Retrofit Academy at info@retrofitacademy.org, and we will be able to help you or signpost you. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.